Hi Flosstube, welcome to my channel. My name is Sofia and this is the channel of the Minigame Stitcher. And yeah, it's been a while, as per usual. So I'm a bit out of order and I wasn't planning to film today, but I had some extra energy and thought, well, might as well. Some things before I show all of my projects, because there are a pile of projects before me, as you can imagine, with being gone from June to November, which it is now. But I wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who watched my last video, and truly thank you. Also a huge thank you to everybody who commented on that video. It warms my heart, and I was really happy to read all of your comments and seeing all the nice things that you said. Speaking of the comments, I kind of got a feeling that I have a very, how should I put it, a large variety of projects that I stitch on, and all of you seem to have something that you liked more than other things. And so I was kind of thinking, because I have a lot of projects and I can't remember all of them, to be honest. Let's be honest, I don't remember to stitch on half of them, and that means that some projects might never see the light of day in my videos. And so I was thinking that maybe I could do something like Viewers Whip, where I will try to pick up a project that you guys say this is my favorite down in the comments. So yeah, it was just an idea, and I can't promise that it will be like thousands of stitches, and not on everything. It might be just like the first few or something like that, but I will try my best to remember to pick those projects up a bit more if you write down. So it's just a thought, and I would be very happy to hear which one of my projects you like the most. Anyway, okay, that was a weird segue. But yeah, I also got some comments on a project of mine, which was Yggdrasil, and I don't know if you remember or recall, but on Yggdrasil there were those Q-snap lines, and it was suggested to wash it and to like scrub it and, you know, all kinds of different things. And I have tried everything. I have washed it in my machine 3 times, I believe, and I have scrubbed it, and I have done everything suggested. However, sadly, the lines did not go away. It got much better, but it did not go away completely. I don't know if you can see, but like over there is some, and over here there is still some lines. Down here, this one doesn't matter because that would have been stitched over. However, I will restart this, and I'm completely fine with it, and you will understand why I am completely fine with it in just a moment, because I have had a bit of a, you know, when you think of something that, well, it isn't today's problem, it will be tomorrow's problem, and all of a sudden it is tomorrow, and it is a problem, and it needs to be fixed. And that has kind of been the story with my whips for the last couple of months. So I discovered that for those of you who don't know, I used to stitch in hand, always on 2/1 on 18 count. However, I have since then got a lorry stand, Q-snaps, hoops, and what's it called, nudge hoops. And so I no longer stitch in hand, which means that I can stitch on larger projects on small accounts without my flosses going everywhere. And so when, that's kind of not the point. The point is that when you stitch in hand, you have very small margins, and when you stitch on a hoop or a frame, you have large margins, like around your, with the fabric, you have larger fabrics when you stitch in a hoop. So that became a problem, right? Because all of a sudden I could not fit any project in any Q-snap or in any hoop or anything, and it has been a landslide of a problem, and it's still a problem, and I will need to fix that again and again and again with a lot of my projects. And I know I could just stitch some fabric on the sides and do it that way. However, to me, like most of my projects have like 1,000, 2,000, perhaps 3,000 stitches, and to me that isn't much. It's like 3 days of work. Well, instead of sewing all of the fabric around, I just restart. So today is going to be restart galore. But yeah, I have sorted my projects today in least amount of stitches first, and then as we progress it will be more and more stitches that I have stitched on them. So the last one is a lot, and the first one is barely anything. And I was contemplating if I shouldn't show like the first ones at all because it's so little, but I thought, well, I have touched them, and it is kind of the process, you know. You pick something up and it wasn't this project's day to day, and I put it away, and then pick up something else and I'm like, nah, and I put it away, and then, oh yeah, this one is the one, and I continue to stitch on it. And you will see that kind of as we progress. So, but let's get on with it. You are not here for me rambling. Hopefully not. But okay, let's start with the first one. The first one, I actually don't know how many stitches this is, but this is 100 owls. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am stitching over here, this part. And I'm stitching this like the order it was released, basically. So this is what I have got. This is a 18 count, 2/1 full cross, and it's CXC floss. So I don't know how many stitches this is. That's why it's the first one I'm showing you. But there we go. It's just the start of the frame, really. And I don't know which type of fabric this is. It's like an kind of, it looks like a rucksack, but it's not. It's really, really soft and lovely, but I have no idea what to call it. But that was the first one. And I'm throwing it on the chair over there. Okay, so the first one that I actually know how many stitches I have stitched is Egyptian Queen of the Leopards, which is this over here. It's an artwork by Jan Patrick Krasny, and I have stitched 34 stitches on this one. So you can imagine you will be seeing a huge difference on this one. So 34 stitches. This is 28 count, 2/1 10 stitch. And there we go. 34 stitches is somewhere around here. And I am actually going to retire this piece. The reason for it is that I can't deal with this fabric. It is too soft for me. Yeah, I can't work on it. So this one will be retired, and this fabric will be sent off to a friend of mine who actually loves stitch 1/1 full cross on 28 count magic guide, but I don't. So this is the last time you will be seeing this one for a while, because I will stitch it, but it will be on a different fabric. But here we go. Egyptian Queen of the Leopards, and she is a UFO for me. So there we go. The next one is Ocean Panorama. It is this one. It is artwork by Adrian Chesterman, and it is charted by Payfree Crafts, and you can actually get this one now, I believe. There we go. That's how it's going to look when it is finished. And I have stitched 9 to 7 stitches on this, which is just one length of thread, and it's the outermost one of this. This is stitched 2/1 on 22 count, and it is CXC floss. It will have its day one day. Yeah. Now we're getting into, this is a new start. This is All We Ever Believed In, and it is by Adrian Bordeaux. Can't really say that name, I'm sorry, but it is unconventional cross stitch. This is what it's going to look like when it is done. And this piece, I started it because, as you can see, this side of it is kind of dark, and it's all one color. Oh, 2 colors, perhaps 3. It's not many colors anyway. It's kind of easy to stitch, and I needed easy that evening. So I cut the fabric, did everything, and then after 139 stitches, I was so tired. I was just done that evening. So this wasn't easy enough, and I didn't pick it up afterwards. But this is 2/1 10 stitch on 25 count. And as you can see, this is a really stiff fabric, and I really like that. It makes my stitches look so much better, and it's easy for me to work on, because I believe the problem with the magic guide for me is that I have a kind of tight stitch. Like my stitches aren't loose at all, it's kind of tight. And when you have magic guide and you stitch that way, my stitches slip all the time. And I also am a very tactile stitcher, so with the hand on my back, I kind of count the ticks the needle makes when I'm counting, and I can't get my magic guide to be like tight enough, tight enough on my frames, the Q-snaps, so that it makes like the noise, like the noise. And on this fabric I can, so kind of a bit more why. I know I'm speeding a bit through this. It has to do also with how much memory I have on my phone. I have deleted everything I can delete on the phone, and it still isn't much memory on it. So I'm needing to speed through it. I'm so sorry. Anyway, the next one is Magic Farm. This is, I believe this is also Jan Patrick Krasny. I can be wrong, and if I am, I'm so sorry. Actually, I can check it. But this is what it's going to look like. So you can look at this picture while I try to find out who made this. Magic Farm painting is done by Jan Patrick Krasny, and it is charted by Charting Creations, I believe. Yes, there we go. And if you remember, you will remember that this chart was stitched to 1/1 on 25 count magic guide or easy count, one of the two, right? The one with the 10 and 10. And as I just said, I have a problem with that. So I have restarted it on 25 count to the 1/10. Oh, it's not 10, it's half cross. But anyway, here we go. That's my beginning. And this is 256 stitches, so it's not much at all, but it's a start. I just wanted to see how it would look on the 25 count, really. Yeah. The next one, it's a kit from Permanent of Copenhagen, and I'm calling it like valmoduk, which is like poppy tablecloth, I believe. And this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. I also have these two, but I haven't started them yet, but I have them. So I am on this one. And all I did was 284 stitches, and that was enough to fill in all of the colors that I was done with in this flower. So that flower is now complete, and I just have to do the same here with everything, and then on the other side as well. But there we go, 200 something stitches plus the back stitch in it. And I did this again because I needed something easy. This is easy. I was feeling a bit under the weather, and yeah, easy, right? The next one is Me and Moo, Mini Me and Moo. It is artwork by Lucy Fitaway. You can no longer get this one, I don't believe. I know she has some of her shirts by Buffy Threads. I don't think this one is one of those, but this is what it's going to look like. I think it's absolutely adorable. I love this artwork. I think it's so cute. Like, you can't be anything but happy when you look at it. So cute. And this is confetti galore. I stitched so much on this when I started it, because the sky is just block stitch, right? And then I got to the cows. So I've stitched 320 stitches in this, and I also managed to chop my head. Please go back to the way you were. No! Oh, hang on, I need to fix that. It didn't want to be fixed. I did my best. Anyway, you're not here to look at me, you're here to look at stitching. So, anyway, Mini Me and Moo. There we go. And those stitches were done over here. And this is kind of the problem that I'm talking about. So, this is an inch, roughly, a bit more, 3 centimeters perhaps, of fabric, and it's really difficult to fit a frame on that. So because this one, how many stitches can it be? Tens of thousands of stitches. I'm not restarting this. That would be ridiculous. So I am going to stitch this by hand, and then I will put the rest in a frame. I have decided on this one. But there we go. It's going to be cute. I love this. Continue with the speed run of this. The next one is it's a Lennart kit, or Verveco. Anyway, this is the only picture that I have of it. So it's a tiny picture, I'm so sorry. But you get to get the gist of it, right? So there we go. I'm just calling it hedgehog tablecloth, eller igelkottuk, because that's Swedish name for this animal, igelkott. There we go. So I have finished him. It's just some backstitch that is needed over there. I stitched more on this mushroom. I finished that mushroom, like I did all of it, to be honest. I did back stitch in the swirl, and then did this and some more back stitch in another swirl over here. And this is stitched 2 over 1, 2 over 2 on 32 count, and it's some sort of linen. It's a mystery linen to me. So there we go. Again, it's going to look beautiful when it's done, if it's done. That one is actually the project with the least amount of stitches left in it. Yep, but it's, how should I put it? It's kind of meh to stitch. There are a lot of color changes and it's meh to stitch. So it's not something that I tend to gravitate to, even though it's like on my list. It's when I sort of how many stitches left, this is the one that always pops up and never picks up. Okay, the next one is also a kit. This one is from Riolis. It's called Free Flight, and this is what it's going to look like when it is finished. Really cool, love it. And this is where I was. This is 2 over 1 on 14 count with their wool thread, and you can't see it, but when you look at this in real life, it's very clear. This project was one of my first projects, and it was started in a time where I didn't care which way my crosses lay. So this one has a mishmash of the legs, and because it is so many blends in this, it is very, very clear to see that the crosses aren't the same direction. So this is where I was. This is where I am. Ta-da! So, as you can see, it's a restart. It is on 14 count as well. And this is 451 stitches, which most of them, like everything apart from the top row. The top row is full crosses, this is half crosses. So, there we go. Very interesting restart. Or not. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's completely fine. The next one is called Cheeky, and this is what it's going to look like. And for those of you who don't know, this one is when you have something that you think is really, really scary and you need to do it anyway. For me, it was an operation, and I thought the operation was really, really scary, and I had to go to it anyway, and I needed to do it no matter what. And this kind of encapsulates that feeling for me. So I felt very small with a very scary monster in front of me. However, I did it, and I'm very proud. So that is, in a way, what this means to me. And I picked it up because it's Halloween. That one, I hadn't written down the artist. I can, of course, check who the artist is. In the meantime, you can look at all of the stitches that I have done on it. So I have filled in more of the black on this one. Let's see. It's by Claudia McKinley. So I have filled in more black. I've also filled in more 939 and 823, which are all colors that is very easy to see on black or not. It's really difficult to see. Cheeky got 503 stitches, and as I said, I picked it up for Halloween. This one is 2 over 1 on 25 count of this magic easy fabric. and I am not going to restart this. I have tried to restart this, but because it is so much black and like all the other dark colors, it didn't look good when I did it on something else. And it also is a kit that I have gotten from Paint Free Crafts, and I can't restart it on a larger count, like an 18 count or 20 count, right? So it will stay on this 25 count because it didn't look good any other way, really, because of the black. So there we go. It's kind of thick. It's fine. It's completely fine. It looks good. Okay, the next one is also a restart. This is Hercule Poirot, eller Hercule Poirot. It is by this Etsy shop. I was like, am I going to pronounce that? No, I don't think so. So that's the Etsy shop, and this is how it's going to look. This is David Suchet as Poirot. And this is where I was. And as you can see, no margin. And what you can't see is how messy the stitches look. Like you can kind of see it, right? It's not neat at all. And I don't mind it not being neat per se. However, when I couldn't get it in a frame anyway, I decided to restart it. So I did with a large margin instead. So this is where I have gotten to. This is 860 stitches. So there we go. My new Poirot. So how many restarts are we up to now? Don't know, many. Okay, the next one is not a restart. It is Saga by Long Dog Samplers, or Sega. Sega? How do you say that in English? I don't know. Anyway, it's this one. And I am doing my frame with 310, and then I go from light blue to darker blue, the lot further down we go. And this time around, I added 894 stitches, and all of them were done up here. So I finished this motif now, and my dog won't have the back stitch on it, so it will be just a plain dog. So there we go. And I also did all this, of course. So this is 1/1 on 22 count. So there we go, and this is the entirety of it that way. Then we go kind of to there. So it's going to be a large one, but it's going to look good. All of my projects are going to look good if they are ever done. The next one, I got the feeling this one was many people's favorite. I am talking about all courses from Super Mario 64 by Boris D. Signing on Etsy. This is all of them, almost, it's missing one, but I am stitching on Peach right now. Peach Light, which is this one. And she got 969 stitches, and that portrait is now at 39% complete. Yes. So I finished complete loss. Jolly Roger Bay, Lethal Lava Land, Tiny Huge Highland, Mountain, Peach Light over here. And I have said this before with regards, if you want to stitch this project and you want to stitch them as I do, which is, that's another project of mine, but if you want to stitch them with 5x2, remember that peach and Bowser are 1 stitch shorter than the rest of them, so they need to kind of be in the same row, because otherwise everything will be like slided to the side. But Peach is looking really scared right now, or shocked right now, so I need to add some more things to her because she looks kind of freaked out. But anyway, there we are. And as I said, I think a lot of you really like this one. Also, if you haven't seen, the bonfire from Software. This is going to be the lamp, the grace, sculpture's idol, or something of that, in some order. Okay, the next one I need to show you on my iPad. I actually had this one up and ready to go. So this is Enchanting Brew. This is what's going to look like. I think it's very fun, very happy shot. So I am up in this corner over here, and this is by Ivy Dollamore, I believe. Unconventional cross stitch. I think it's Ivy Dollamore. It doesn't, the pattern doesn't actually say. Oh, there you go. Ivy Dollamore is the artist of this one, and I am stitching it 2/1 10th stitch on 25 count. And here you can actually get a glimpse of my stitching process in the beginning, because often if it is a lot of confetti, I always grid my fabric. As you can see, it's gridded. However, when I start a project, I don't trust myself with my gridding. I know it sounds silly. I know I have counted right. I know everything is done right, but I can't trust myself just yet. So I start to stitch over here. Over here, I started to stitch, and then I parked on the other side where it was being used again, which like 1 block away, 2 blocks away. And then now, when I have some stitches over here, I will go back and like stitch in those threads that are in that area. And as I continue to stitch on this, I will trust my gridding more and more, and I will be annoyed with all the parked threads. And so I will stitch in every parked thread, and it will stop being parked threads. But in the beginning, I park a lot, especially when it's confetti, like this one is. But there we go. Over here is the hedge that will begin. So I'm already down to the hedge. So there we go. 2/1 half cross. I don't stitch 10th stitch. Even though I say 10th stitch, I don't stitch 10th stitch. I can actually show you. So as you can see on my back, it is straight lines and not the diagonal ones. And that's the difference between 10th and half cross. So I don't have 10th stitch. The next one, would you believe it? It's another restart. This one is What Lies Beneath, mini What Lies Beneath. It is artwork by Dakota Detweiler. I'm so happy that I wrote my cheat notes on every one of these, and I will fill in the ones that I'm missing. But Dakota Detweiler, mini What Lies Beneath. This one is now retired, and I believe it is Paint Free Crafts that now have her license. So anyway, there we go. I have this one. And this is where I was, 2/1 on 18 count, and as you can see, no margin again. Can you, like I said, it's a theme, this one, where I had no margin, couldn't put it in a frame, restarted it 2/1 half cross on 25 count. And I encountered the same problem again with this one, because this one has a huge amount of confetti. huge amount of confetti, and I don't really know how to handle it, because the confetti goes, like normally I can see a path in it, but this one has like one stitch over here, one stitch over here, like one over here, and like one over here, and or like there isn't really a path to go through it, so it's kind of difficult. It goes all over with this one, so I'm still in the thinking box with how I should do it. And I know a lot of you have different techniques and how to handle it and all of those things, but I think I just need to be a better stitcher. Like I need to have more experience, and I will find a way to deal with it eventually, but I'm not just good enough right now, and that's fine, completely fine. Anyway, that was 1,308 stitches, so we're still in the thousands, which isn't, like I said in earlier, I think it was in this take, 1,000 stitches isn't much to me, so we're still in the 1 day ballpark, half a day, 1 day ballpark. The next one is Mermaid Hunt by Tom Wood. This is what she is going to look like when she is finished. This is a full size, and she is amazing. I love this. She's so powerful. I love this artwork. I love that artwork. This is not a research. Okay. This is 1,829 stitches. It's 2.61% complete. And I have, so this is how it's all looking, but what I have been doing is that I have been stitching over here and here. So I've been filling in over here, and I've also filled in over here. So this is the start of a shark, like a shadow of a shark. It's going to go down here. So yeah, 2/1 full cross on 22 count, CXC. Most of my projects are CXC, except for the ones in kids, usually. I have one that's coming later that isn't, that's DMC, but most of them are CXC. So there we go. Looking good. The next one is Gardener's Paradise. I've stitched 1,935 stitches on this, and it is artwork by Donna Gelsinger, as you can see over there. This is how it's going to look like when it's done. I am now at 3.92% complete. 2 sec. There we go, I'm back, and this is where I am. So I have just been filling in more that way and more this way on this one. It's looking really, really good, I must say. So there we go, Gardener's Paradise. 2/1 on 18 count using CXC. There we go. That one is also confetti heavy. However, allow me to put this out there. The other one, I didn't have a direction to go. Like I couldn't find a starting point and an ending point in the confetti. However, this one, like if let's say the pink floss, I can start over here and I can jump from flower to flower going somewhere, and I can find a path in the confetti, and that makes it manageable. However, with the What Lies Beneath, what I mean is that I don't have a path, so it's difficult, but this one has a path, so it's easier. So like when I stitch confetti, I like click on the symbol and then I see like, okay, and I plan out which order I'm going to stitch in, right? So with What Lies Beneath, I can't do that. Anyway, enough of What Lies Beneath. The next one, we're getting to the end here. I have not that many projects left. The next one is also an Owl of Forest embroidery. This one is Pumping Color Autumn. This is what's going to look like when it is finished. I have stitched 2,533 stitches on this. I am at 60.07% complete. I am stitching it using CXC with DMC conversion and not their own floss. I am also stitching it on a printed fabric, which is called brown Ada cloth. So there we go. And what I did mostly was that I finished this page. So this page is now complete, and I started to do more on this page. And I've also done like the tree over here, this pumpkin, some of the this row, I believe is, yes, this row is completed now. So I'm working on it. I'm also done with the top. So it's going forward slowly. This one I am stitching in hand. So this is my, like, if I'm going somewhere and I want to have something to stitch on, this is one of the projects that I pick up because, as I said, it's stitched in hand. There we go. The next one is Golf Player. It's a pattern that I found on Etsy, and I stitched 3,432 stitches on this. This is also printed fabric, and this is now complete. And he got my royal complete process with doing absolutely nothing to it, so it has everything still, fold marks and everything. It's fine. And as per usual, you can't really see like the color of this fabric. It's poison green Ada, I believe it's called. It's poisonous green, and in reality it really is poisonous green. Let me see if I can, if I put something really like, no, perhaps a bit more, but it's super green. If you want to know a bit more where I got this pattern, just let me know, because I don't have the page with me with all the information. But there we go, he is done. It's a finish. My pictures are going down under the sofa. They are slippery because of the plastic folders I have them in. The next one is a Permanent Copenhagen kit. This is my oldest whip, and I didn't want to have him in my drawers anymore. So I have been trying to stitch 250 stitches per day on him. And that amounted up to 3,875 stitches so far, not counting backstitch. So that's what it's going to look like when it is done. I have stitched the owl in the same collection, but this is where I am now. I am done with page 1, which is like over here, and this is where I am. This one I am stitching in hand, even though it has huge margins, but it was stitched in hand before, so I'm just continuing it. And what I've done is I have filled in everything in his forehead over here, everything between his eyes, his nose, the whiskers, everything here. All of this is new, and some on his ear, and like the back stitch in his ear is done. Back stitch over here is done, and around the eyes, that's also done. So I'm really just missing like the chin and the neck, and I've even stopped mid-stitch on this. So, but there we go. And it's, I believe it's like 6 shades of grey left on him. Okay, the next one, this one, bear with me because this is going to be difficult to show. And again, I'm getting worried about my memory on my phone. So let's see. This is no much fun. And It is a Christmas tree skirt, is that a name? But I can't get it all in frame, so I will just do it like this. So here are all of the motifs. So I have finished all of these. This one was done before, but these two are new. This one I ripped out all of the backstitching. This is so difficult, it's so huge, it's humongous. I ripped out all of the backstitch and redid, because I've done it in long stitch, didn't like it, redid it in backstitch. This one is new, also these two are new. So there we go. It's the size of me. But yeah. Can you see anything at all? Anyway, it's done. And this one, I just needed it done. I didn't like stitch on this. It is wool, not the Riolis kit kind, it's more like a yarn wool, and it's stitched on 6 count Ada. So like each of these are massive, like he is the size of my head. So it's a large project, and it was taking up so much space in my drawers that I wanted it done, and so I got it done. And I needed 5,244 stitches. Now we're getting up there in some stitch count, and that's not counting all the backstitch. And as you can see, there is backstitch everywhere. Everything is framed with backstitch on this. So anyway, it's done. It's in a drawer. I'm never taking it out again. It was so little fun to stitch that the joy of having it is gone. And I'm not saying that to, and I don't mean anything bad about the design. It's really cute. It's super sweet. It just was the process of stitching it. It wasn't fun. It was really warm, and it was not fun material to work with, and all of those things. So it's nothing wrong with the design, it's nothing wrong with the kit, it's just a preference from me that I didn't like it. And that's how it is sometimes, you know. And again, no critique to anyone, it's just my personal feelings about it. Anyway, now we're getting into the fun stuff. For me at least, it's fun stuff. This one is Park Your Elephant. It is by Natalia Maros. And this is how it's going to look like. This one reminds me a lot of my dog. And my dog, I don't want to stitch this when she's gone. I want to stitch this when she's alive, because if she's gone, I can't pick it up because it will remind me a lot of her. And the reason why it will remind me of her is the way this elephant is sitting on this bench is the way my dog sits on chairs and stuff. So the butt looks the same, basically. It's the same way. And I know it's really stupid, but it reminds us, both me and my husband, a lot of our dog. So this is Park Your Elephant. In this house it's called Bellaphant, because my dog is called Bella. So it's Bellaphant. So anyway, I am up in this corner. Yeah, and look at that leaf. Because that leaf is that one. Yay! So it's nothing to see. It's a bunch of sky, and it's 2/1 on 25 count. This is 5,618 stitches. That is 2.77% complete, and I need to pick up progress on this one if I want to see it done in her lifetime. So anyway, there we go. And as you can see, it's a hoop mark, but that's okay. Really, it is kind of interesting. At the same time, it's really not. But that's how it goes sometimes. The next one is Childhood Sweethearts. This is my, except for Belaphant, this is my husband's favorite one. It is by Jim Warren. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I can absolutely see why, because we met kind of young and we want to grow old together. So I don't know if you can see, but they are like two young. It's like the mirror, the young version and the old version. And yeah, it's kind of us. So it is still in the nudge hoop. And this is where I am. So it is 6,454 stitches. That is 8.12%, because this is the mini. I am really annoyed by this row, but I can't do anything about it. It was a tension in my stitching. Anyway, as you can see, there is a lot of confetti on this. And on Instagram, I actually had, you know, the Uncharted Brew one, where I said when I'm unsure about my own, like the grid, I park and then I get annoyed and I stitch it in. This one on my Instagram, I actually have like the beginning where I had a lot of parked threads, and then I stitched them all in. So if you want to see like the process of that, I have like a picture version of it. But here we go. Childhood Sweethearts. And this is also a restart, because this was stitched on 18 counts as well. I don't have that fabric with me right now, but I wasn't this far along. I was at like 2,000 stitches perhaps. But there we go. And like I said, you don't know if you can see it, but all of the sky is, well, most of the sky is finished. I'm not taking that one out of the hoop, because that's all there is to see. Okay, the next one, I need my tablet again, because this picture is gone. I know I have the picture of this somewhere, but I can't find it. This is Window with a View, and this is the mock-up of it. Can you see it? There we go. So it is by Dominic Davison. But you got the idea of it. It's a window with a mansion and a swan and things. I am currently at 43.91% complete on this. And since the last time you saw it, I have stitched 16,230 half crosses. And this is where it is. Let's see if we can do it a bit more presentable. Don't think I can. This one I have parked because there isn't anywhere I can actually anchor the floss in that area. So it goes all the way over here. So this curtain, so this is the end of the pattern on that side. And I am complete with the first 30 stitches on this side and the 20 topmost. So this is now at 43% complete. It doesn't look like it at all. It looks like it's a third tops, but it's almost halfway. But I think it looks really good. It's kind of hard to actually show this in a good way. But there we go. I have stitched everywhere on this. So yeah, 16,000 stitches. Even though it's half, but anyway. This one is the one I'm working on currently, because I did rotate for a while didn't really like it, or it's not that I didn't like it, it just got, when I'm tired I want to have something to just focus on, and right now I am very tired and I can focus on that one. Okay, 2 more left. The second to last one is Pokemon Generation 1 by Lord Libyan, and this is what it's going to look like. I think many of you have seen these before, and I had started this on 18 count to 1, didn't like it again, so I restarted it. Let's make it a bit more presentable, at least try. But this is my restart, and this is 19,174 stitches. So page 1 is done, this one. Page 2 is almost done. Whatever page this one is almost done, and this is the edge of the pattern. So there we go. This is 2/1 half cross on 25 count. But all of this is new, all of it, as this was a restart. So this is all that I've done. Okay, the last one, and I said earlier my pictures were going under the sofa, so hang on a minute while I try to fish out the last picture. Found it. This is Dragon Bone underwater, and it is artwork by Stefan Koidel, and it is charted by Contemporary Cross, and this is how it's going to look. The version I have, because this is a picture I find online, the version I have has like a little bit more on this side and a little bit more on this side, I believe. So, but this is like the kind of artwork. And this one has a history. So I started this 1/1 on 22 count. That's where I was then. Then I restarted it 2/1 half cross on 28 count. That's where I was on that. Didn't like either, and so I restarted it again 2/1 half cross on 25 count. Need to brush away some fluff from my dog, and I have stitched 22,589 stitches, and that is this. So this one is now at 8.74%. I want to have this at 10% by the end of the year. But as you can see, I have like a rock here that isn't in the picture, but like it looks really nice. And this is the dragon's head over here. So, what? No. Found it. Anyway, there we go. So, as I said, 22,000 stitches. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was 22,589 stitches. And again, I must say that's half cross, so it's not full crosses. It goes a bit faster, but still. And I have no page finishes done on this. So as you can see, this is like the page line over here, and it goes like, so I have some stitches left on this page, some stitches left on that page, and also on the third page. But I'm going to get this to 10% this year, and the reason for that is I got it for my 30th birthday from my mother, and I don't want to have it when I'm 40, so that means at least 10% per year. There we go. That was all of my whips, and I can just show you the difference in things with, so if we do it that way perhaps, the 22 count and the 28 count. And this fabric is also going to that person that liked to stitch on 28 count, but this is the same thing on different fabrics. So as you can see, it's kind of a size difference, really. 28, 22, 25. There we go. That was all of my stitching. Like I said in the beginning, if you have any if you have a project that you would like to see me stitch more on, please let me know in the comments and I will try to pick it up like a viewer's whip, as I said. Yeah, that was all my stitching. However, I have been dabbing in both crocheting and knitting, so I will show that as well. So I will start with the knitting, and it's just, you know, it's a pair of socks. Okay, and my socks are not twins, they are sisters. So where the yarn continues, so you can kind of put it like this. I continue to knit like that, because if you want to have, with this yarn, if you want to have twins, you need to have two balls, two skeins of yarn. If you do them as sisters, you need one, and I don't really care if they are twins or sisters. But anyway, this is a ragg sock, it's called. It is a classical Scandinavian type of sock. However, I have this cuff should have been 14 centimeters, so like 6 inches, like this, almost 6 inches, right? Oh, yeah, 6 inches. However, I did it in 2 inches instead of 4 and 6. So those are done. And this is, the yarn is called raggi, as I said, ragg sock. So it's a yarn made for that type of sock, and the color is, isn't it? It's 15148 if you're interested. So it's from Jarbo Garn, Jarbo yarn, Jarbo Garn. So that's those. And then I am knitting another pair of socks. So I have finished the first one. It's the same as that one. It's a ragg sock. It's a really easy sock to knit. And this is where I am on the second one. And this one, I am actually doing twins on these. And this is Socki Plus created by Adlibris. And Adlibris is our bookstore, online bookstore here in Scandinavia. I don't know if you have it any other places, but it's their yarn, and it is a sock yarn, and the color is B032. B032. So there we go. And that's my knitting. Just something like I can knit one of those in a day, so because this is a really, really thick yarn, like it's really, really thick. It's a European size 5 needle yarn, so it's really thick, really, really thick. Actually, it doesn't say. It's 100 grams is 156 meters, if that makes sense. 21. Anyway, I said some crochet as well, and I have been crocheting. And if you're following me on Instagram, you know what I have been crocheting. I've been crocheting bags. So this is my first ever crochet project. The thing is, when I was a child, I was trying to crochet, and I asked my teacher how. I'm sorry, that will have to be a story for another day. Anyway, my teacher didn't teach me how to change the row because my phone's memory is full. My teacher didn't teach me how to change the row. I gave up on crocheting, and now I've done this. So it's a bag with a flap and a pocket inside over here. And if you want to know who the designer is and everything, just let me know. Gosh, I don't know how much memory I have left. Anyway, I had a ball of yarn, skein of yarn left, so I did another one. This is my own design. This is a bar stitch, I believe. Otherwise it's single crochet, and this is a double crochet at the end. It has a magnetic flap and a pocket inside as well over here. It's kind of difficult to show because it's black, but anyway, it's got a pocket. And I went to my local store and got this. Yes. If you want to see more of these, they are on Instagram. That said, that's my video. Hopefully I've uploaded this. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely time. In regards of life, I'm still here. I'm still very busy. Health hasn't been that well. Needed to have some break. Anyway, there we go. That's everything. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so sorry it got rushed in the end. I'm so sorry, but I have no space left on my phone. So, bye. Take care.